Hey guys, it's Julie here. This video has been on my mind to make for a while because I've seen things that no man eyes must witness in the name of hairstyles. And the fact that it's 2024 and I'm still seeing some of these things, oh no. That will not do at all. Okay? We want to have healthy, thriving, long, juicy, or at least thick hair, right? I know, that's many women's goal. But we also like to experiment with different things, different hairstyles with our hair. Girls just want to have fun, right? But some of you, some of you are having way too much fun, and it's making me a little uncomfortable. And it's also not good for your hair, like at all. So let's talk about it. Most of the issues I'll be addressing in this video have to do with your stylist. Those wicked hairstylists you people go to. And you people, some of you need deliverance. Where do you do your hair? And also, what prompts have you given to your stylist to end up looking the way you do after a hair session? Today, we'll be talking about hair salon horror stories and the worst things you can do to your hair.
Let's play a little game.
I think I'll rank these from bad, worst,
to everyone involved needs Jesus.
This scale shows how detrimental whatever practice I'm talking about is to your hair and why you should stop, reduce, or avoid it altogether. The first salon experience practice I'll be talking about, which reads bad on our scale, is using a rat tail comb on your textured hair. When the natural hair community popped off, I think one of the things people collectively agreed on is throwing out their rat-tailed combs. White-toothed combs were in, but I think people get bored and want to go back to the old ways for no reason. The natural hair community got a lot of things wrong, but not that. Please stick to your white-toothed comb for detangling. There is this belief that some people have that your hair has to be detangled to a T to be acceptable, but that's not quite true. You see this comb? This particular tiny blue comb, it still gives me nightmares. Even though my hair was relaxed when I was a child, it was the cause of 80% of my hair loss because hairdressers were not satisfied till the comb could run through your hair from the top to tip. There are many hairstyles that don't even require you detangling your hair. If you are putting your hair in a puff, for example, you can call me to give it the shape you desire, but it's unnecessary to detangle. The very nature of our natural hair is to cling to each other. Our hair is very communal. They love a group discussion. They don't want to be independent and strong. So if you are leaving your ends out when you put it in this style, what's the point in detangling meticulously when it's still going to twirl around each other to keep plotting against your little comb? That's just avoidable breakage and stress. There are some hairstylists that think they can only braid your natural hair when a rat tail comb can run through it. Avoid such hairstylists. Our hair is too textured for the rat tail comb test. It doesn't mean anything. You're not white. You see this? This is texture. Don't be ashamed of this. Embrace this. This is your natural hair. It's thick, fragile, and has so much character and richness. You haven't failed at something because your hair will break a rat tail comb if you attempt to introduce it to your hair. Your hair is just a dumb. Okay, she likes to take control. When the hairstylist takes out a section of your hair that she wants to braid and combs it with a big comb, she might want to follow up with one of these torture devices. That's when you tell her to choose peace and put down the weapon. Let love lead. Because all that's going to do is rip your fine strands out of your scalp. It will result in unnecessary breakage, which will cause split ends and affect the overall health of your hair. What I mean when I say we can't see our hair outside of the Eurocentric length, because there's no point in this. I promise you, you can still braid your hair after using a big comb to detangle. If you're the type that is too shy or self-conscious to speak up at your stylist, the moment she unseats that comb like a sword, just faint. Fall off the chair the moment she puts that comb in your hair and tell her that the pain is unbearable. Yeah, so this is bad. You can only use this kind of comb when you want to use the tail to part your hair. That's it. Please do not attempt combing your hair with this. Next is using gels on your scalp when parting your hair. Look, I get it. We all love a shiny part. We love a sleek, clean, neat, straight part. And gels seem to help in making those lines sharp and crisp. Now, I don't mind a bit of gel, but can we agree that some hairstylists, these new hairstylists, are taking it to the extreme? When I just wash my hair and want a fresh style, the last thing I need clogging up my pores and flaking in my hair after 3 days is gel. A little gel is fine. Personally, I only put gel in my hair when wash day is closed or my hair is due for a wash. And I've seen videos of just excess application of gel on hairstyles that don't even require them, and it just irks my soul. Parting this line so sharp and then going on to apply gel in the part is a crazy practice. I think it's just the obsession with that sleek, clean look that can be bad for textured hair. Your parts don't have to be able to reflect light. It's okay. Breathe in. Breathe out. Choose peace. It might look cute when you're leaving the salon and you might be feeling yourself, but give it 3 days, especially for girls who go to the gym or live in hot or humid environments. Most gels will start having white residue and causing flakes and itch. Your hands will be in your hair so much, your scalp might get inflamed and irritated, and your new hair will start looking old and worn out in like a week. Not to mention dirty. I don't mind the little appropriate baby hair moment, but that's at the front of your head, and when it starts to flake, you can just wash it off. But doing this all throughout someone's head, I'll take it as you hate me. You might as well just part my hair with a knife. A good hairstylist should be able to make a decent and smooth line on your head without shining the hell out of it with a gel. That's unnecessary in my opinion. There's a level of sharpness that your part will be that when you get under the sunlight with those parts, they'll feel like you are holding a glass shard to the sun. These stylists have parted your hair so deeply, she may have dug into your memories and subconscious thoughts. There is no reason for me to be able to see my reflection all over the crisscross parts of your micro braids like a kaleidoscope. It doesn't have to look like a checkers board. Your hairstylist does not need to brush the surface of your brain to make a clean part. I think this practice is bad for the overall health of your hair and scalp health. I know many people are used to the gels on scalp now, but you should try to minimize putting gel all over your scalp or avoid it altogether. So yes, that goes into the bad category. The next practice on our scale would be stylists that demand for silk presses before they can braid.
Ride to me like this. You come to me like this, then we will either have to reschedule.
Hairstylists are out here being openly discriminatory, lazy, and demeaning. I've seen complaints from women and also flyers from crazy stylists that say they won't touch your natural hair unless you've straightened it before coming to braid.
This is not going to damage your hair, sweetheart. Our hair can sustain anything.
A braid of all things requires straight hair to be done. Braids were made for textured hair, but now you demand for your client to fry their hairs before coming to your salon. These are the issues. I'm sorry if you're a victim, but do yourself a favor and walk away. It's never that serious. I think a blowout is okay. It's alright. Mind you, a blowout is different from a silk press. A blowout stretches your hair, but there is still texture, still volume. Again, I think if you're a professional, requiring this in order to braid just tells me you're not that good at braiding. If the client wants to do it, that's fine. But saying you won't braid until it's stretched means you can't braid until it's stretched. Flat ironing comes after you've blown out your hair. This straightens out every trace of texture and curl in your hair, and if it's not done well, will result in flat, limp, lifeless looking hair that smells of roasted goats. I think it's extreme to demand for this before braiding. If you witness a stylist that wants to do this before she can braid, remove your shoes, put them on your head, and run. Angry, disgruntled hairstylists that berate you are bad for your mental health and hair. I don't recommend. They will roast you and then begin to roast your hair. This goes to worse on our scale. Avoid them. Next on the list of doom is... Girl, what is this? What's going on here? Why this? I don't have anything against long braids though, except when they can double as a jump rope. We have to be putting limits on things now. Come on. If you're not cosplaying as Rapunzel and you're only getting this for a photo shoot, after which they will come off with immediate effect, why would you do this? Why? Okay, let's talk about what's wrong with this. Have you experienced abnormally long braids? Have you? Well, I have. I still wake up in cold sweat on some nights. To put it in a civilized manner, this is highly unsanitary, if anything. Oh my god, the amount of filth these braids have the potential to soak up on a day-to-day basis is staggering. The reason I'm so terrified of this hairstyle is because I've seen it in action. This is a weapon. If she flips it, everything within 10-kilometer radius is falling. I would sue. Then she attached those dumbbells at the bottom. What if you mistakenly sit on it and it yanks about 2 braids clean off your scalp?
Jesus is Lord!
How do you deal with it in public? I'm scared. I literally had nightmares about this as a kid. On a surface level, I personally don't think they are cute for one. We have to be putting limits on things. I remember one time I was at the mall and this lady walked in with extra long yarn braids. First, they looked so thick and heavy, I don't even know how her neck could hold up under the weight, but she seemed to be doing just fine. The braids went all the way down to her calves. I kid you not. To her calves. I don't know what she was going through. I don't know what demons she was trying to ward off. I don't know what hairstylists needed to be placed under neighborhood watch, but this woman really had the most horrifying hairstyle I'd ever seen. One flick of her neck, she was sending provisions off the shelves like a supervillain whose name was Mayhem. Everybody tried not to get in the way of those braids, but they were everywhere. They seemed to have a life of their own. You could step on it if you were not careful, or they could reach out and hold you by the throat if you let your guard down. I was keeping my distance, but keeping her in my peripheral vision. I was not about to take my chances with those braids, let me tell you. Now, there was this spot on the floor, I remember, where something had spilled and one of the workers in the mall was trying to mop off. And I remember just watching in horror as this woman walked to the aisle and squatted to get something from the bottom row. And as you can imagine, her hair spilled all around her and just soaked up the liquid from the floor. Oh my God, it was fantastic actually. It was terrifying to see without my eyes. Oh my God. The germaphobe in me was screaming and throwing up. I was just wondering if this was our day-to-day routine. Hydrate hair with suspicious liquids on surfaces in public areas and go about your day. I remember also standing behind a girl with knee-length faux locks and there was a stench coming from it. Mind you, this doesn't mean that everyone who does this hairstyle wouldn't know how to take care of it and keep it clean. I'm not calling people who do this dirty. I'm sure there are tons of people who don't mop the whole street with their braids, but it's just like, why? Why do it? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Oh my God. Not to mention the crazy tension such hairstyle would put on the scalp. It can cause strain to your hair that's just going to be bad for your hair health in general. I think this hair is going into the worst category just because it gave me nightmares and it almost took my life. The hairstylist is going to need to pray and fast to find peace, and the test subject, what can I say? She needs some of her rights taken. Now we're getting to worst. And from our hairstylist horror story cabinet, we have hairstylists that sneak relaxers into your hair. Oh my God, this one boils my blood because it happened to someone I know. Many black women have reported going in to get their hair done and coming out with a different hair texture. This one is deeply rooted in texturism and wickedness. Many black women have sworn off relaxers because of the threat to health that they pose. So now it's not just you doing a hairstyle on me that I'll have to pretend that I like in your shop, then cry all the way home. Now you're playing with my health. They have also taken consent from me and made such a grave decision on my behalf under false pretenses. Imagine you came to do your hair and the stylist, under the pretext of washing your hair, put some strange substance in your hair. Something she calls a quote-unquote new and improved conditioner for your coils. And she suspiciously lets it sit about 30 minutes and it burns a little, but she says it's just the quote-unquote softening agent. Then you get your braids done and then you go home happy with how it turned out. Till it's time to take down your braids and what you find underneath is not the hair you know and love. Well, I've seen and heard reports from women getting the quote-unquote sneak palm from crazy hairstylists, and I think that's just astounding, jaw-dropping. I don't know what I would do if that happened to me. It's just so unbelievably unethical and wicked. If you couldn't handle natural hair, why take on the client? There are so many articles online about this experience, and it's just horrifying to think of how your entire head of hair can be ruined in one sitting by a malicious hairstylist who maybe thought she was doing something good for you. This is a terrible hair practice and people need to start getting sued or beat up. No, seriously, I will wait till you close shop that evening and me and like 4 of your other victims will jump you. This happened to someone I know, and when she called the stylist had the audacity to ask her if she liked it. She's going to hell along with the dentist who did these veneers. This is going to go on the worst level. Now, I know when you click on those videos looking for tips for growing your hair, you've heard oftentimes to leave your hair alone. But let me tell you something, this is not what they mean. Be for real, what is this? Leaving your braids or any protective hairstyle in for that long is crazy. Why do videos exist on the internet that is talking about taking down my 7-month-old braids, taking down my 1-year-old braids? My client hasn't washed her hair in 3 years. Can you be for real? Why? You're wearing expensive wigs on top smelly hair. I know many people get numb or immune to the smell that comes from dirty hair because it's their hair and they can't smell it, but I assure you, the rest of us can. Oh! Whoever told you leaving your hair dirty will make it grow lied.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Clean hair thrives. When you leave your protective hairstyle in for too long, when you have to take it down, your hair will most likely be too matted and dry. And yes, you can see that new growth at the root. But the hairs at the tips, your older accumulated length, It's all going to go down the drain because of all the manipulation it will require to undo 6 months worth of neglect. This will break off way more hair than you would like. So it's like pouring water into a basket. Your hair grows whether you leave it alone or not. The point of leaving it alone is so your roaming fingers don't break off hair that is not supposed to go. Leaving styles in for too long, now this will have a lot of hair breakage at the end of the day. Some of you take it to the extreme, and black women, I am extremely concerned. I'm tired of seeing you take down 1-year-old braids and
letting enough dirt that
can build cinder blocks fall off your scalp as you do this on camera. Except this is content. Oops, I don't think I can say that word on here. I don't know why anyone wants to see a video of you doing that. This is going to have to go to the worst folder. I'm sorry. I saw this video and I'm still shook. I don't know how long this was given the quality of the video, but some of you are out here gluing wigs to your head. I bet you wish when you slap that glue in that dead weave, it morphs into your actual hair. Well, it will never happen. Look at your coconut head. This is of course going to go into the worst category.
Oh my god.
What's going on here? What's happening here?
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
What's this? Why? Why?
Jesus is Lord.
I have just one question after seeing this. Were you sleeping with the hairstylist's husband? Were you a high school bully? This is a personal vendetta. This woman, whoever did this hair has a personal vendetta against you. This is revenge. Oh my God. Did you at least fight back? No. Oh my God. She has braided away our ability to taste food. This has to have long-term medical repercussions. Why would you do this to yourself? Wow. Did she part this hair with a lawnmower? You have gone and given yourself traction alopecia. All for what? Those braids are straying farther and farther away from each other like modern society is straying farther away from God. It's like two opposite ends of a magnet, just repelling each other. These boils happen like this when there is too much tension on your hair. They release pus and they smell like crazy. For them to be this visible in this blurry photo, I don't even want to see them in real life. I don't even want to smell them in real life. Now this is personal. The way she picked up all those baby hairs, it has to be child abuse. Someone called the police. Oh my God, what's remaining? Just braid the eyebrows too, eh? How can you sleep at night after doing this? And this question goes to both the stylist and the stylee. How? Listen, if your braids don't start at least a quarter of an inch from your hairline, that hairstylist is taking revenge for something. I promise you. Because she's picking apart your thoughts with this hairstyle. You people have too much endurance for me. Even metal band boys with all those piercings and tattoo, I promise you people are not on the same level of pain threshold. Everybody involved needs Jesus folder. Please, love yourself. You can't keep going like this. There is no reason why photos like this should exist. These are actual people. Oh my God. I saw one that was simply too graphic. This woman's scalp was actually oozing out blood. I don't know how you see through these hairstyles. Can't you talk? Can't you open your mouth and talk and tell the hairstylist, madam, release your hand. This thing is too painful. People sit down there and just keep receiving pain as if you are glued to that seat. And then you come and post pictures and be crying on the internet that we should come and fight for you. Fight for yourself, please. You don't have to be in a hurry to have braids in. I've seen worrying videos of people whose hairs are barely an inch grown getting their hair braided. There is barely anything to braid. Why are you letting that hairstylist snatch off your short-term memories? When your hair is at this stage, all you need to do is leave it alone. Wash it when it needs to be washed and comb it. Apply a conditioner and leave it alone. This is the time to leave it alone. Why do you crave pain? You people scare me. And you sit there and let the hairstylist brag on camera that she can pick hair at any length and nobody does it like her. Nobody should do this thing. It's abuse. Whole time you can only hear out of one ear because she's pinching your frontal lobe. You're holding in tears because you're a big girl while she's snatching away your youth. Please, Leave your short hairs alone to grow out before getting braids. And if the hair is too tight to the point where your hair is throbbing or you want to cry, please complain to the stylist and ask her to release her hold. Good hairstylists can take criticism. Avoid these hairstylists from hell. They are here to ruin your hairline and your life. Your hair will thank you for this in the long run. And yes, everyone involved in this will be going to hell. I mean they need Christ. Yeah. So guys, that's all for this video. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have any hair horror story to share? I hope not at this point because oh my god. Anyways, I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.